Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at YouTubers and others to see if they demonstrate any traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. These videos are for fun and entertainment purposes only, strictly my opinion, and remember, please don't send any snark to our possible narcs. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis. Hello, hola, bonjour, hey y'all, my name is Merc. Welcome back to the Narc Alert. Well, last night Amberlynn Reed gifted us with a public live stream of 3 hours almost, well, 2.5. Started just after 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And in this live stream, what she did is take full accountability for everything she's ever done to Beck and, I guess, Casey. Well, I don't know. Did she? I'm not sure. All it made me think is, I can't wait to do a Narc Alert tomorrow, and let's look at how a narcissist handles accountability. Narcissistic Accountability, the official guide to I'm sorry, but I'm sorry if, or that never happened. True accountability looks different. What is genuinely taking responsibility? Taking accountability means fully owning your actions, words, and their consequences, without making excuses, shifting blame, or minimizing the impact. It involves acknowledging mistakes, making amends, and committing to real change. Key elements of true accountability. When someone refuses to take accountability, they create an unhealthy cycle of blame, manipulation, and unresolved conflict. Admitting the behavior without blaming others. Recognizing the harm done, even if it wasn't intentional. Apologizing sincerely without conditions or excuses. Taking action to repair the harm. Changing the behavior, not just words. Taking accountability builds trust, respect, and emotional safety in relationships. It shows that someone is willing to grow and take ownership of their actions.
Hello. Sorry, my other one stopped working. I don't know what that was. That was really weird. Hi guys, how are you? I hope that you guys are doing well. Um so I do have some notes because I have been told come with notes. So I do have a little bit of notes. Is this gonna have tea? Lauren, hello. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, the standard of what people consider tea, I guess, yes, it's gonna have tea. I am here to be accountable. Like I said in my I am nervous. I'm very nervous. And I'm actually really anxious, but that's okay. Like I said in my community post, I want to be accountable. So you guys are going to find out tea of things that is real and is true. And yeah, I also want to talk about things that aren't real and aren't true because I feel like that is just as important.
Partial accountability. I did, but you did too. They may admit to a small part of the problem to avoid addressing the full extent of their wrongdoing.
A, B, C, D, F, G can be true, and I could take accountability, while LMNOP also I want to clear up. I just think that's fair. I do have some screenshots, and some things like that. So I'm just going to try my hardest. This isn't a place for me to bash back or talk about their personal things. That's not what I'm doing. Um, so I just want to also make that very clear.
Maintain a false sense of superiority. I can admit my mistakes, but you never do. They want to appear mature and self-aware while still reinforcing that they are better than you.
How are you taking accountability other than just saying it? Thank you for the super chat because I'm going to be literally giving examples. And yeah, I really hope that like this helps because I genuinely have been feeling awful.
Guilty for accountability. I apologized and it's still not enough for you? If you keep pushing for a real apology, they'll play the victim to make you feel bad. This makes you feel guilty for standing your ground and allows them to escape the situation without actually changing their behavior.
Don't do this. You are better than them. They want this. I'm not better than anybody. They're not better than me. I'm not better than them. It's not about that. It's just like so much. Like I've been wanting to say so much and I haven't been able to. And I'm going to say why. Um okay, so some stuff I obviously blocked out. September 7th, 2022, I get a text from Beck saying, "Last fucking warning. Stop talking about me. All you do is talk shit about me, and I just want to forget you and all of the bullshit. I will stop being silent if you don't, and I'm not the only one who has a lot to say about you. Final fucking warning. Take my name out of your mouth, and I can get the law involved." Okay, that's fair. Here's the screenshot. And obviously, I crossed out everything else because obviously, like, that's personal. So that's fair. Okay. So I stopped talking about them.
They want to confuse and control the narrative. I said I was sorry, but you just won't let things go. Narcissists use gaslighting to warp your perception of events. They'll mix just enough truth with their lies to make you doubt yourself. This accomplishes two things. They appear like they took responsibility, and two, they make you feel like the real problem.
And that text was kind of after like I said the proposal story. And in the proposal story, I didn't even say Beck's name, you know. And obviously everyone knew what it was about, so that's my bad. And I shouldn't have done that. But at the time, like, I felt like, okay, if they're allowed to make videos and say what they want, like, I should be allowed to as well. So Beck obviously sent that. So I was like, okay, all right. So I did stop talking about them. And I think what was hard at the time for me was Beck started making videos about me while telling me, don't talk about me, keep my fucking name out your mouth, or I'm gonna get the law involved. Um, I know there's internet suits. Is that what they call them? Internet suits out there? Okay, so with my notes, I do wanna delete everything that I'm, like, already talking about just so I don't get confused. So if you see me, like, doing that, I'm sorry, it's just, like, a break. So if there's internet suits out there, um, there is a phase of time, like, easily for, like, 2 years, I would not talk about Beck. I did not say a word. I was also with Feline, and Feline was very good at urging me to not speak about Beck, and so I listened. Um,
Feline was known to be litigious. She was not going to get caught in any lawsuits.
it was just hard because, like, Beck was able to say whatever they wanted, when they wanted, how they wanted, and that was, like, hard for me. So that is why when I say, like, I feel like I'm being silenced, that is what I mean, because I took that text message and I was like, "All right." And I think now, things have just got like, I really wasn't gonna say anything, obviously, but things have gotten so, like, out of hand with, like, things that, like, okay, how am I supposed to take accountability if I don't say what for?
They want to control how others see you. Narcissists are obsessed with their public image. If they feel their reputation is at risk, they'll fake accountability just to appear like a good person. But behind closed doors, they'll discredit you. This is damage control. They're ensuring that if you tell others what happened, people will see you as the unreasonable one.
So I want to say what for, and, I also think it's important that, like, I share my side of things that are not true. Um, would you ever consider attending a behavior change program for abusers? No hate. I generally want to see you succeed. Yeah, I would do anything. Like, are you joking? Thank you for the super chat. Um, so with like, I want to answer questions and then I want to like also do some of my notes, et cetera, et cetera. So we could just like go back and forth with that. So someone said this is not accountability. We haven't gotten there. We have not gotten there. We have just started. We haven't even been on here for 10 minutes yet. I'm extremely nervous. I am absolutely detached from myself. So if I laugh, giggle, whatever it may be, it's because I am extremely detached from this whole situation. I feel like I'm watching this happen to myself.
Turning accountability into a sob story, also known as the victim narrative. Instead of owning up to their mistakes, a narcissist will share a version of events where they are the victim. What are they doing? Well, they're admitting just enough to seem honest. They're shifting blame onto their circumstances or the other person. And they're fishing for sympathy, so people feel bad for them instead of the real victim.
A main question I have is it difficult handling the situation when you've said you wanted to handle it privately and they keep making it public slash responding? Yes, that's obviously a very different and hard type of situation to be doing because like I really want to like I would love to have like a conversation with Beck offline. Like Beck can have their partner there, friends, family, a whole slew of people, and I can be by myself. Like whatever would make them feel comfortable. Um, whatever could make them feel comfortable, safe, whatever it may be. Because like doing this online like is a lot because the thing like I get like in my videos because I look back, I see in some of my videos, I was like pretty harsh to Beck. And for that, I'm sorry, especially like doing it publicly. Like it's pretty awful, really. Um, but like the things that happen, like not online, like I would love to be able to like have that conversation. Like,
Admitting fault, but only to gain sympathy. A narcissist might confess to wrongdoing in a way that makes them seem like the real victim. What they're really doing is using an apology to make the conversation about their pain, not yours. Seeking validation and reassurance instead of addressing their actions. And manipulating others into feeling sorry for them instead of holding them accountable.
but it's not gonna happen. So there's not much I can really do about that. Someone said, please stop crying. I am extremely emotional. It's hard to regulate my emotions. So I am going to be doing the best I can with actually not crying. I'm actually working really hard on that, even on my everyday life, to like not cry at every fucking thing in the world. Um, so, and I know a lot of people are like, you are not a victim. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm saying that there's two people in this story, and one of them isn't being honest about the situation at hand. And it's like, when I was going through my messages to try to find proof for certain questions, because I do have some screenshots that I want to show you guys. Um, I found a text message of a situation that like I didn't even remember happening. And it just made me realize that like I'm not perfect. Beck wasn't perfect. Like I was super controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me. Like always. Like it was crazy and it was I'm able to admit that and I'm sorry for that and that's wrong. Beck is their own individual, their own person, and they could do whatever the fuck they want. And for some reason at the time, it felt like I needed them always. And I'm able to realize that I was not perfect.
Turning an apology into a guilt trip. True accountability means making amends, not making others feel sorry for you. Instead of owning up to their mistakes, a narcissist might make their apology all about their own suffering. What they're really doing is making you feel like the bad guy for holding them accountable. They're forcing you to comfort them instead of addressing their actions, and they're avoiding real accountability by self-pitying instead of fixing their behavior.
But and it's like I hate like having to do like two things at once because it makes me feel like my apology or my accountability isn't real.
Narcissists don't take real accountability. They use the appearance of accountability to manipulate, avoid consequences, and play the victim. If someone keeps turning their apology into a way to gain sympathy, shift blame, or make you feel guilty, they are not truly taking responsibility.
But it is. Like what I'm about to say does not take away from that, and I need people to hear it. I need people to hear that. And so anyways, I was going through and I was looking for proof of something, which I'll show you. And it's like there was this text message I saw where I like sent a big long message to Beck saying like how I felt. It's actually on my other phone. I need, if you guys want to see, I can get up and go get it. But some of it is actually personal. And in it, I was saying how like I like quoted some things that Beck said to me. And one of the things was I wrote down in my notes, at least my family didn't do drugs. Like Beck would say things like that to me, and I forgot that they even said that to me until I was looking at a text message from like I think it was like 2020, and I was like, "Holy fuck."
Blaming while taking responsibility. Accountability means owning your behavior without excuses. This is fake accountability, disguised as an apology. The narcissist admits fault, but makes it clear that you are still to blame. What they're doing is admitting just enough to seem reasonable. They're shifting responsibility onto you and making you feel guilty for their actions.
It's just hard because it's like a part of me fucking wishes that it was just me. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, a part of me wishes it was just me who was not a good girlfriend, not a good this, not a good that, because then it would just be so much easier for me to come on here and be like, yep, everything that Becca's saying is 100% true. And this is like exactly how it is. But it's not. It's not reality. It's not. And it just like makes it hard. Anyways, it like literally doesn't even matter because I just need really more than anything to just get all of this like off my chest.
Shifting the blame while owning up. I shouldn't have reacted that way, but I was under a lot of stress because of you. A narcissist might frame their accountability in a way that subtly blames the victim. What they're really doing is disguising blame as an apology. They're forcing the victim to share responsibility for the narcissist's actions. And they're making themselves look reasonable while making the victim seem at fault.
And it's not like fully about like people believing me or whatever it may be. It's like I just need to get all of these feelings and thoughts off of my chest. So before I start being like, well, Beck said this, but here's proof that that's not true, I would like to answer some of your guys' questions that I can be accountable for because I don't want this to be a situation where it's like, oh, Amberlynn is just trying to prove Beck wrong or this and that. Like, no, I want to literally be accountable Saying I'm accountable doesn't make you accountable, correct. That's why, like, I am trying to list off ways that I am accountable. Where the tears, they're there, and they're messing up my makeup. Um, so what you talk about Destiny's brother on drugs, yes, that was a very, very low point of me, and I should have never done that, and I'm sorry for that. That was a very bad look, and it was horrific because, like, you guys know that I have, like, addicts in my family, and I should have never, ever, ever done that.
The first step is expressing remorse, so the other person knows you genuinely feel bad about what happened. Then offer to fix things or make up for what you did. You could offer to do them a favor or even just ask them if there's anything you can do to make it up to them.
I thought you only have one phone. I do, actually, but I use one phone, which is this guy. I went into my storage unit and I got my phone from when I was actually dating Beck. So I went all the way to my storage unit and got it, plugged it in, charged it. So yeah. Why were you completely unable to recognize how Beck felt and their emotions for the entirety of your 4-year relationship? Well, you have to be more specific because sometimes I did know exactly how they felt because they told me. And I'm realizing that there was a lot of times that they lied. I think a really good example of that would be like choosy or like when they would give me like the anxiety massage. Like it's just like partner, you know, emotional regulation, like making your partner feel good and safe and loved, and things that I would also do for them. Like they really liked when I would do this. So that was like my thing that I did for them. And it's like, I'm realizing that it wasn't that at all. It was, I almost feel like I was a burden to them. And
They ignore emotional cues that don't serve their ego. Narcissists are often emotionally oblivious. You force a smile and nod along, but inside you feel frustrated. The narcissist only sees the smile and assumes that you're on board. Why they don't see the truth is because they focus only on surface-level signs that confirm their belief. They ignore subtle cues of discomfort, frustration, or reluctance. And they assume that if you had a problem, you'd be loud about it. And since you're not, they must be right.
moments that I thought we were actually genuinely bonding, like that's the part that's like hard for me to like wrap my head around, I think. Do you owe Beck $6,000? No. So I guess we can talk about the inheritance. I did talk about this in my members only, but obviously not everyone saw that. So Beck is saying that I took the inheritance. Me and Beck had a joint account. Okay, so this is where a screenshot comes in. So I'm glad we're talking about this. So it was originally their bank account. And when we got together, I ended up going on their bank account together. So we were joint bank accounts. So any money that either of us both received went into one full-fledged, one area. In a recent, I don't know if it was video, live stream, I forget what it was. Beck said how they didn't even have the means to look at the bank to see how much money was in there, that they had to use my debit card, that I had my own private thing. Those are not true statements. I have a screenshot. I was not able to get into the bank ever. I have so many screenshots of wondering, how much did I get paid? I would text Becky and literally ask that. I'd be like, how much did I get paid? Et cetera, et cetera. And Beck would literally send me screenshots of our bank.
This banking story is too convoluted to make sense. I will say that YouTubers get an email hours before our pay is deposited, telling us the final amount. We also have the studio to tell us all the details. Also, I find it confusing why an adult can't log into their own bank account.
So I have everything crossed off that's like personal information, but this is just proof that that was a lie from Beck, an absolute lie.
Narcissists fake accountability to control the narrative. When a narcissist says they're taking accountability, but uses it to call you a liar. They're not actually taking responsibility. They are using a manipulation tactic to protect their ego and keep control.
This is probably the one of the biggest lies has left my jaw on the floor. Here we have it where I say how much money is in the bank. So here it says, "Hi Rebecca," because this is their account, literally their account right here, which we shared, but I could not get into it. So I have so many screenshots of Beck sending me screenshots of the bank because I couldn't see it. And I also put in my notes with that is like my mom stayed with us for like 2 months when I had cancer. And my mom saw our dynamic. And Beck, because I've talked to my mom about this, obviously, because my mom's like just as shocked as I am. My mom saw Beck had their own debit card, literally their own debit card. Like, I don't understand like this crazy weird lie. Like, we can say that like I was abusive and controlling because I was very controlling of their time. And I'm very, very so sorry for that. But never once have I ever been financially abusive.
When a narcissist denies being financially abusive, they gaslight you into believing that it's not happening. You're being dramatic. Everybody shares money like this. Stop making me out to be the villain. I'm just trying to help. Financial abuse? Seriously? You're so paranoid. What's really happening here is they make you doubt your reality so you stop questioning their control. And they try to convince you financial abuse doesn't exist or that you're overreacting.
We have been equally so bad with money. That's why I have nothing to literally show for anything because we would spend so much money, the both of us, constant. Like they were allowed to buy what they want when they wanted. Like I literally bought them a car. Like I bought them a car. I'm that type of person where you guys have even seen it. You guys have seen it. You guys have called me out on my shit. I buy love. And I have gotten so much better with that, especially because like the last like 6 years of my life, 7 years of my life, 8 years actually. What am I saying? Like the last like 8 years of my life, like I have bought people with money. I have bought love, I have bought friendships, I have bought laughter, I have bought time with people because of money. And that's how it's always been. I have never been a greedy person when it comes to money. I have it's almost like I got a kick out of giving people money and like going on shopping sprees and like doing all these sorts of things. So it's like what? I don't know. Speechless.
Giving lavish gifts to distract from the control. Narcissists use gifts to cover up bad behavior, as if spending money cancels out control. They make you feel like you shouldn't complain because they buy you things. They distract from their financial abuse by making it look like generosity.
Beck says that they wiped me. Okay, so story time on that. Beck started wiping me after my hysterectomy, and it continued on after that. This part is embarrassing, and this part I am going to be accountable. Here we go. Accountable Lynn coming in at you. Wiping for me has always been extremely hard as a bigger girl, obviously. If you were bigger, my size, it's hard. When I was about to get my hysterectomy, that was a big thing for me that I was like, how am I going to be able to wipe myself because it's hard already? I'm not going to be able to. So this is something that I was like, at the time, I was like, Becky, like, are you going to be able to do this for me? Like, I'm really embarrassed about it. And they were like, of course, like, I love you, blah, blah, blah. So when I was healing, I physically could not do it. Like, physically could not do it. And so Beck did it for me. And so did my mom. Me and my mom would laugh about it though, because it was just like, okay, you did this for me as a baby, and now you're doing it for me as an adult. So it was an embarrassing type deal. But so me not being able to wipe for it was like honestly a few weeks, and already something that was already so hard for me, I kind of lost the ability to do it.
Narcissists and learned helplessness. They act helpless as a manipulation tactic. Narcissists themselves can also exhibit a form of learned helplessness, but in a manipulative way that helps them avoid responsibility. What they're really doing is pretending to be helpless so they don't have to change. They shift the burden of emotional labor onto others. And they avoid accountability by acting like they're incapable of doing any better.
I was able to do all sorts of things again and all this stuff, and like the healing was just going perfect. And I was like, holy fuck, wait a minute. I like have lost the ability to like do this. And obviously after time I was able to figure that out again, thankfully. But I would say Beck wiped me for I would say a good 9 months. And it's really embarrassing, and I know a lot of people are going to forever make this a meme, and that's okay. I also did very embarrassing things for Beck. Like, that's what you do when you're in a 5-year relationship. Like, that is what you are going to do, period. You are going to help the person that you love, and you're going to be there for them. You're going to be there for them if you love them. And I'm truly embarrassed about it because moral of the story is it's my fault because of my size. Because if it wasn't for my size, like that would have never have had to happen. And I'm sorry that I would ever put anyone in that sort of situation to have to do that. And I'm forever grateful that like they were there for me during like that fucking scary time. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but then this goes down to people asking like, did Feline do that? No, because like I said, Beck did it for the like because eventually I was able to do it again. Um,
Hiding something as an accomplishment. I don't expect my partner to help me. I'm completely independent now. Why do they do this? Well, to look good to others. They want to appear self-sufficient, successful, and better than they were. To make the new partner feel special. They imply that the new partner is better because they don't have to help.
and I want to make it very, very clear that that is the only thing they helped me with. Like back in 2019, they got me a bucket with some water twice to like help wash myself because that was during a hard time as well. But never ever once did I have them bathe me, shower me. That never happened. And if it did, I would tell you because I just told you the most embarrassing thing. Like if someone had like a gun to my head and said, "What is your biggest secret ever?" It would have been that. I had a partner who wiped me for 9 months.
How narcissists rewrite history. That never happened, or it wasn't that bad. They will downplay or deny their own bad behavior. If you call them out for lying, they'll say you're remembering it wrong. They gaslight you by making you question your own memories.
Um, that is embarrassing, and I see a lot of people making fun of me. I knew that was gonna happen, and I guess that's fine. Okay. Um, okay, so another thing. Beck said how I always went through their phone and how I would never let them go through mine. Half of that is true, half of that is not true. I'm not even gonna say why. It doesn't matter why. I did it, and I'm sorry. That's controlling. That's wrong. That's It's wrong. Point blank period. I should not have ever done that. Like there's no reason. There's no reason. But the part about Beck saying they were never allowed to go through my phone, they were never allowed to read my journals is a lie. I have proof. A very old journal. And if you guys know, you guys know. If you watch my vlogs, you guys know I've showed this like a million times before. So this journal is from June 18th, 2021 to December 9th, 2021. And I have showed this in multiple vlogs. So this isn't like a fake story time, nothing like that. I saved the spot and everything. On July 24th of 2021, I wrote this. I think I'm done reading this journal to Becky. This shit has gotten kind of deep and I want to go even deeper. There are some things I don't want Becky knowing, mainly because I'm embarrassed. I want to be able to write in this journal as if it's absolutely no one is going to read it. This is the best way to write. I haven't told Becky she will no longer be reading this journal, but I should probably tell her soon. I just kind of feel bad about it, even though I shouldn't. Okay. So, I was talking about Feline, obviously. I said, I'm seriously so confused about my emotions right now. I like Feline more than I thought I would. So when she randomly said she wants to be single because she can't commit, my heart dropped. This is some tea. I just don't understand because everything we do is like we're in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship either, but I also don't want her talking to anyone else. I'm pretty sure she feels the same way. I'm also confused because it seems like she wants to meet me sooner than I had expected. I'm just not ready for that. There's so many things I need to change and improve before we can even plan it. I don't feel like the person I am, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm worthy of love and attraction and sex, but then I remember who I really am and what I look like, and I lose all of that. I'm fat, I feel gross, I'm unhealthy, and the list goes on. This is embarrassing.
Narcissists and self-pity, playing the victim to control others. Because it gets them what they want. They twist their own bad behavior into a sob story. They mistreat others, manipulate, or act selfishly. And then they say, I only acted that way because of my trauma, stress, or mental health. They use their struggles as an excuse, not a reason to change.
No one is going to want me the way I am now. God. So I need to change. I fucked up by being in such a rut for so many years of my life. I regret it all so much. I hate that I cannot experience the shit I want to experience all because of my weight. It has literally ruined everything. And then in my next paragraph, that is when I wrote about, here it is. The full shabam.
Narcissists being open. The narcissist will never consider the feelings of their partner. Under the guise of transparency, they will let you see what they want. They can never risk letting the mask slip.
So it's like they're allowed to like lie about stuff because the tea is piping. The tea is hot. Okay, so after we broke up, we had mutual friends, obviously. And I found out a lot of things that I did not know about, actually. That made sense and it like added up for me, obviously. But behind my back, like Beck admitted to using me for money. And that is the only reason why they were with me. And this part like really hurt me. Beck literally called me a fat fucking bitch. And that genuinely shocked me. And obviously you guys probably know who the mutual friends are, let's be real. But like Beck would like during an argument would say kind of harsh things, obviously, but never like vulgar. So when I heard like using me for money, like low key, it felt like it made sense to me because I would tell them, like, get a job. Like, I could tell you're bored because once we moved from the home where we had roommates and we were living with friends, like obviously it was different. Like we always had something to do. But when it was just me and Beck, like I was like, get a job. Like, are you joking? And so they tried Uber, but they only did it like twice. And I'm like, and I always tried to be super like, what's the word? What word am I looking for? I always try to be super supportive with their passions. Like, I bought them all kinds of like this art stuff so they could start an art business. And I really wanted to help them with that. And like I tried so hard to be like, Beck, like you got this. Like you can do anything like that you put your mind to. And they just didn't. And I genuinely don't understand like why not? Like
Rules for you, but not for them. Narcissists believe that they are special, or exempt from the rules that apply to everyone else, including you. They hold you to high, often unrealistic standards, while they bend, break, or completely ignore those same rules when it suits them. This double standard allows them to maintain power and control over you, while avoiding accountability for themselves.
what do you believe you actually did wrong? Sage, that is such a good question. Um, I was controlling and I was manipulative when I wanted to get my way in the sense of like wanting them to just always be with me. And um, I would get angry with them when they would be gone for too long because I would feel sad and lonely and all these stupid fucking annoying feelings that like genuinely when it comes down to it like don't matter. Like when it comes down to it, it literally does not matter. Um I was harsh with them. Um I would and it's so crazy to like at the time like I didn't even view it that way, but like a good example of that is like when they were trying on the sorry, my brain's working so fast and it's like the words are not coming out. What is it called? A fanny pack? And I was like, "Well, you could just lose some weight." You know, saying something like that is like talking down to somebody. And it's like at the time I didn't even realize it. And like I feel so awful for that. And I'm just like genuinely so sorry that like I ever put them in like a situation or a place to like ever feel bad about themselves. Like,
Respect is a one-way street for them. They expect you to always be polite, never challenge them, and definitely never raise your voice. But they have no problem yelling at you, insulting you, or completely ignoring you when it suits them. If you ever stand up for yourself, they'll turn it around on you with something like, "Wow, you're being so disrespectful." But if they insult you, "I'm just being honest, you're way too sensitive." They demand respect but refuse to give it back because in their mind, the rules don't apply to them.
it's weird because as much as like I did things like that and said things like that, I also very much like want to hype up my partner always like and I think that's why like I wanted them to do the art thing so much and like I would always show their art because like I also wanted to like in the same breath like hype them up and make them feel good about themselves because duh, who doesn't want to do that? Like of course you want to make your partner feel good, but like there was that other side of me where it's like I would talk down to them and like I wouldn't even realize it. And it's like I'm just so sorry for that because then it makes me question like how many other times I do that and I didn't even realize it. Like that's sad and I'm just very sorry for that. Why did you guys share a bank account? I know tons of married couples who don't. I couldn't imagine sharing a bank account with a girlfriend. It's so weird. I'm not going to lie to you. That was the last time I ever did it. Never going to do it again and never will do it again. No thanks. But why? I don't remember why we did it. It's just I remember me and Destiny also shared a bank account, so it felt normal to me because, like, the first time ever, like, receiving money from, like, as an income, I was with Destiny, and we both had an income, and we were putting our money together. So then when I first got with Beck, they had an income, I had an income, and I thought that was normal for, like, couples to get a bank account together. So I literally just went on theirs, and I didn't really think anything of it. And like I said, I'm just all about, like, sharing the money. I've never been someone that's like, "My money, my money." Like, that's never been me, or I would have gotten my own bank account, and I would have stayed on my own bank account.
Maybe. But I also wonder, maybe Amber didn't have ID to get her own account? Who knows? It's ancient history, and we'll never really know what happened. Guys, this is part 1. This thing is so long and so narky, I can't get it all done in one video. So, let's meet again for part 2, probably Monday, and I'll see you at the live stream tomorrow. If you liked the video, please click like, subscribe, grab a channel membership. Thank you all for joining me at this Narc Alert Look at Amberlynn's 3-hour, 2.5-hour live stream. You know the routine. Until we meet again, just be kind, and hasta luego.